And welcome back to the Unfiltered Sports Weekly. I am the Beebs.
Me llamo the Keb.
Oh boy, is it going to be that kind of episode? Wow.
Here we go.
Hey, guess who's back in town?
St. Joe.
Look at that. I'm here for at least another 3 weeks. You know, I gotta be in town for a little while. Then back out on the friendly seas.
I'm so glad that you graced us with your presence.
Well, guest hosting for a little while. Yeah.
You were guest hosting on a cruise ship?
Hey.
No, he's guest hosting here. Oh, motherfucker ain't never here.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was great. I loved it. It was a lot warmer there than it was here, apparently.
I'm sure. It was cold here.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. I had fun. Yeah. I was winning at the drinking package, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Hard to lose at that. I'm curious, Beebs, if you were to go on a cruise, have you ever been on a cruise?
Yes.
Did you get the drink package?
No.
No drink package.
That seems like a waste of money for me, yeah.
Well, doesn't the drink package also include like Coke?
Yeah, it includes bottles. See, that's where people have the big misconception is that they don't figure in that bottled water and soda.
That's true.
All that stuff is there. So we came home one time and calculated and had like 220 drinks. And I'm like, no. But it did include the water and stuff. So when you do it, you're always going to come out ahead. Always.
So on the cruise ship, do they have like, can I get like a Chocomocha latte and all that crap? Like they have like
specialty coffee.
They have a Dunkin'? Do they have a Dunkin'?
They had a Starbucks. Yep. So you can get that.
Okay. Fuck Starbucks.
Well,
okay?
I mean, yeah.
Starbucks is full of tree hugging hippie bitches.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, then you can do that. But yeah, it was good. You needed your coffee in the morning. That's where you went. So it was good. It was good.
No Dunkin'.
No Dunkin'.
Okay. Nope. Do you know Dunkin'? Do you know where Dunkin' was originated from?
Yes. I've listened to that food. I've listened to that food podcast episode.
I'm going to say Boston because Ben Affleck and Matt Damon really.
That is correct. The Boston area. Do you know where a lot of the people who founded this country are from?
Boston.
The Boston area.
Mexico.
Somewhere in the Gulf.
Sorry.
Right. I gotta tell you, man. You know where I was? I was in the Gulf of America, baby.
It's funny awesome. is somebody the other day renamed it the Gulf of the second place Four Nations team or something like that because we lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, it was hilarious to see that on the screen when I walked up, and I'm like, I took my my location. When I turned my location on, it said Gulf of America. I was cracking up. I'm like, yeah, that's funny, but yeah.
Hey man, it's that's what it is.
Yeah. The more funny part was when I went to Cozumel and said, "Hey, do you have any Gulf of America hats?" And they looked at me and said, "Go home." I'm like, oh yeah, bad call.
Please tell me when you're in Mexico and somebody's like, "What do you do for a living?" I work for ICE.
I'm like, did you say ice? Sure, I'll have more ice.
There's a video out there on TikTok of a guy that bought like a jacket that says ICE on Amazon, and one of these leftist reporters was asking him about it. He was like, he goes, I just bought it on Amazon, but it's funny to go like walking through like a Home Depot, watching people like run away from me. And I'm like, you better watch that. Isn't it like a felony to like impersonate a federal officer?
Yeah, it's not a good thing, but yeah, man, it was funny. But I did listen to the show though when I got back, and it was funny for a little bit. Yeah, I do have to say that I did find it comical that Beebs was bragging about beating up on young boys. about basketball.
Yeah, still undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really a good claim to fame. I mean, if you really wanted to just say that the only person you can beat in basketball is young boys,
I mean,
I guess.
yeah, you get it. You're Catholic.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, that was an easy one, a layup. But, you're talking about layups with Biebs, so that was the only thing he could make against the young boys, so that was fine.
That's all I had to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Well, how tall were the kids? What?
My son's my height.
So your son is as tall as you?
Yeah.
So it's like, what, 5'6"?
5'11".
I'm just kidding.
Okay. And you said you're 215. Yeah, and you're just bulldozing them around and pushing them down, and then lay up. So
No,
yeah, but
it's
he's got like 2% body fat. Though.
Yeah, that's all. That's
it's just 2%. He hasn't gone like us, like full. Me and you, say Joe, we are full dad bod. I mean, he's like getting there. Like he hasn't graduated to like full. I mean, we're full fucking middle-aged fucking dad bod.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know what? I'm fucking proud of it, dude. I got 9 chins. Every fucking one of them has earned their status.
I mean, you work hard for that body. So, I mean,
seriously.
Yeah.
Do you know how much fucking Taco Bell it took to get me the way that I am? And I've fucking gotten lighter.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that happen?
I've spent at least the last 10 years convincing my wife that round is a shape. And I mean,
now don't fucking tell Flat Earth Dave that shit.
I mean, yeah, it's close, but I mean,
I mean,
we're having quite an opening here.
We'll get all kinds of fucking comments on here because say Joe brought up round. I mean, he's never been to space. He has to get on YouTube, watch video, and do his own research.
It's there. I mean, she said, you need to run. And I said, who do I need to impress anymore? Who do I need to impress?
Right.
You said yes.
Did she say me?
No, not at all. You said yes. That you signed the contract. It's over. I don't have to impress anybody anymore. So, you made that choice.
All right. I did a thing at the office today. I'm going to do it now. Let's just see how. Okay, there are 2 dad jokes that I would consider the easiest dad jokes, the most well-known dad jokes out there. And I said them to some people today, and they had no fucking clue what I was talking about. Okay, so I'm going to give you the setup and see if you know the punchline.
Okay.
What is the leading cause of divorce?
Wedding cake.
No. It's marriage.
Oh,
that's the leading cause of divorce.
Wow.
Well done.
What is now, St. Joe? You have alluded to the punchline of the next one.
Okay.
What is the most or the best form of birth control?
Okay, there you go.
Wedding cake.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. Well, yeah, it was good. You guys had a good show. It was nice. Thanks to Mr. Richardson. So I have a question for you because you listen to the Fandalorians, and I think that we've talked about this between the 3 of us. Do you think that they call each other Mr. between the 3 of them?
I think it's a teacher thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think they might have some students that listen.
Oh, that makes sense then. But you think if they see each other, they don't call each other by their first names. They actually call each other Mr. G, Mr. I forget the third. I'm sorry.
I'd say that's probably a question for them.
Yeah, could be. Maybe they're listening and they'll respond. But I mean,
I feel like a dickhead. I didn't ask him that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm just curious, but I mean, yeah, but it was nice that he came on and then filled in, so I appreciate it. Maybe in 3 weeks again he can come back on, but we'll see. I thought you might have had a Mr. guest on, but would have been good, but maybe we'll see. But you did have I thought the very good opening segment where I don't know if you breathed for maybe a good 18 minutes.
I've gotten some feedback from 5-6 people that all kind of said that one thing. And
yeah,
then they're always they also said you didn't curse as much as you did, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, this week might be different. So I mean, yeah, you did the whole okay, here we go. And yeah, it was pretty funny. So are you going to repeat this week?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to hear what happened this week in sports.
Au contraire.
All right. Well, let's talk about this past goddamn week in sports then, because I swear to fucking God, every single day something new happens and makes me want to set my fucking TV on fire. First up, the Jacksonville Jaguars have hired a fucking child as their general manager. James Gladstone, 34 years old, 30 fucking 4. Yeah, what the fuck is that? You mean to tell me that this guy probably still remembers his high school locker combination and now he's running $1 billion in an NFL franchise? He's probably got old tweets out there that from when he was 16 talking about how he thinks Tom Brady is overrated, and now he's going to be making $1 million draft decisions. It's like handing your car keys to your teenager who just got their permit and going, yeah, sure, take the Ferrari for a fucking spin. I don't know what the Jags are doing with this pick. I don't know if I like it or not. The guy still has to text his dad for help during tax season. They're trusting him to build a Super Bowl contender. Yeah, it's just unreal. What I really want to talk about. Meanwhile, over in Green Bay, the Packers are out here whining like a bunch of little bitches because they want to make the tush push illegal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's not fair. The Eagles figured out a way to do something that we suck at. So now we're going to have to ban it. Jesus. Can we stop changing the rules every time someone figures out how to win? You ever notice that when teams bitch about this shit, they're always the one getting their ass kicked? Oh, we can't stop it, so let's make it illegal. Hey, maybe just get some stronger linemen instead of crying to Roger Goodell like a goddamn toddler who drops fucking ice cream. It's football. It's not a fucking suggestion box. Somebody figured out an advantage, and now everyone else is crying like it's the end of democracy. Yeah, you know what else isn't fair? Bill Belichick running circles around the NFL for 20 fucking years, but nobody banned that, did they? Now, let's talk about Florida Gators basketball. Okay, they're rolling right now, but we all know how this story ends. I know, I'm a Gator fan. It's like dating a chick who's been divorced 3 fucking times. You're feeling good, everything's going great, then bam, first round tournament exit, and you're sitting in a Buffalo Wild Wings wondering where it all went wrong. Gator fans are already talking shit like they've reinvented the game. Like, calm the fuck down, guys. It's still the Gators. This is the same fan base that starts every year thinking they're going to win the national championship, and then it ends in drunk yelling at the TV while their team loses to some school nobody's ever heard of. How the fuck did we lose to St. Mary's School for the Blind every fucking goddamn year? However, thank Christ, baseball is back. But do you know what that means? Old guys are about to crawl out of the woodwork to ruin it every fucking year. Some 75-year-old with a mustard stain on his shirt tells me how much better baseball was, quote, back in the day. Oh, the game was pure in the 60s. Yeah, you mean when pitchers were on amphetamines and dudes smoked cigarettes between innings? That era? Baseball wasn't better. It was just fucking a pharmaceutical experiment. You had guys hitting 20 home runs and also working as plumbers in the off season. That wasn't your golden age. Get the fuck out of here. Meanwhile, modern baseball is actually entertaining, but nah, old people need to bitch about the pitch clock. Oh, it's ruining the game. No, Gramps. What ruins the game is sitting through a 4.5-hour matchup between two teams that are mathematically eliminated by June. And then for the second week in a row, we have the fucking NBA, which at this point, I don't even think is a real sport anymore. What the fuck was the final score of that Pacers-Mavs game the other night? 148 to 143. It's not basketball. It's a fucking pinball machine. Nobody plays defense anymore. You could drive into the lane with a baseball bat and the ref would still call a blocking foul. Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't realize we were playing the National Pillow Fight Association. These guys are 6'10", pure muscle, but if someone grazes their pinky finger, they hit the floor like they just got shot by a sniper. You know who should be really mad, though? Hockey players. They see an NBA guy rolling around on the NBA guy rolling around on the floor, clutching his ankle, and they're just like, bro, I got slashed in the face with the skate, and it still finished my shift, dude. They're different fucking species. And finally, guys, the most tragic news of the week. And if we had taps, I would play it. Hooters filed for bankruptcy.
Yep.
That's right. America is officially dead. We let the one restaurant specifically designed for men going through a midlife crisis to fail. How the fuck did Hooters go under? This place was built on three things: mediocre wings, cheap beer, and the faint hope that a waitress might find you attractive. And now it's gone. The next thing you know, they're going to ban buffalo sauce and force guys to drink hard seltzers. Oh, sorry, we don't serve beer anymore. How about a coconut mango LaCroix? You want to know who I blame? I blame the fucking millennials. That's right. The same generation that ruined chain restaurants and made it weird to hit on your fucking waitresses. There's people out there right now that are like, thank God he didn't say women or Catholics. The same generation that ruined chain restaurants and made it weird to hit on your waitress. Oh, it's problematic now. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's just flirting. It's been around, since fucking cavemen. Some might call it sexual harassment, but potato. And don't get me started on the health food craze that's killing every decent establishment. Like, why the fuck do I need to see calories on the menu? Oh, did you know this cheeseburger has 1,200 calories? Yes, I fucking did. That's why I fucking ordered it. What's next? McDonald's is going to make me sign a waiver before I eat a Big Mac, And the world started to end a little bit when McDonald's started serving salads. So I don't think I could do it anymore, guys. Sports are getting soft. Bars are dying. Now even Hooters is gone. At that rate, the only thing I think we'll have left is yoga studios and fucking vegan sports leagues. But my saving grace is that baseball is back. Back to you guys.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow. That's a lot. Good. That's a lot to take in.
Well written and well performed, I might add.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even sure how to follow that up. Although I did watch the Florida Gators game
tonight.
No, I didn't see the one tonight, but Saturday. I think I was texting you, and they look really good.
Yeah.
They were trailing for a bit, but then they came back.
Their size and their defense pretty much seems to overcome much of the adversity. I mean, eventually they were just too much on Saturday. I didn't see the score tonight, but
yeah, they're fixing to lose. It's 88-83 Georgia with 5 seconds left.
That's shocking to me because I guess it's the SEC, but I watched them and I thought, hey, these guys are pretty good. But then again, there's like 8 teams in the SEC that are really good. So I don't know where we're going tournament time. They're saying 8 or 9 teams from the SEC are going to be in, maybe more.
Big 10's tough too.
Yep. Yeah. And then the Big 12 is also good. I mean, not as good as they have been, but they're still good, And
who's good in the Big 10?
Wisconsin, Ohio State, Michigan.
What's Wisconsin ranked?
They were 11.
Okay.
Yep. And they lost Saturday.
Who's the highest ranked person in the Big 10?
Well, let me look.
Michigan.
Okay.
I think they're 7. I think Michigan was 7. And then
highest ranked Big 10 basketball team there, Beebs.
Michigan State.
Okay.
What are they? The Fighting Izzos.
Mm-hmm. They're number 8.
They're number 8.
Wisconsin's 11.
Okay.
Michigan's 15.
All right.
Maryland is 16.
Can you give me the highest ranked SEC team?
Well, it's Florida, number
it's
2.
Auburn.
Or Auburn was number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Florida's number
Alabama.
3. So they're not going to be.
Kentucky.
They're kind of, yeah. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, but like you said, Florida has might kind of like the Florida State syndrome. Oh, yeah, we're really good, and then we don't make the conference championship.
I'm not talking about Florida. I'm talking about conference versus conference.
Yeah,
I'd say right now the SEC is definitely the hardest conference in basketball. But like I said, they kind of cannibalize each other because they have to play each other so much, so their record doesn't look as good. We'll have to see during tournament time how they play.
What about the ACC?
ACC has
Duke and everybody else.
Yeah, Duke is pretty good.
Clemson looks all right, 13.
Yeah, Clemson.
Duke has the best player in the country.
Oh, he's by far. He's so good.
Yeah.
And not only,
with all due respect to Walter Clayton Jr. and that dude from Auburn.
Yeah. And there's a guy from Alabama who's really good too.
Yeah, but how to beat Alabama is if you isolate him, and make everybody else beat you. You know, it's kind of like the opposite of LeBron. You know, the back in LeBron's, heyday, the right way to defend, like when he was with the Heat or when he was with the Cavs, is guard everybody else, let LeBron get his.
Mm-hmm.
But if you isolate that one dude from Bama, that's how you beat him. That's how Kentucky played him hard. I don't know who won that game, because that was on at the same time as the Gator game.
Who was on the Billy Donovan champion team?
Do you want me to name all 5 starters?
Sure.
Okay, Torian Gray played point guard. You had Al Horford, you have Joakim Noah, you have Corey Brewer, you have Lee Murphy, and then you have Chris Richards first off the bench. They won back-to-back national championships with the same 6 guys.
Joakim Noah went to the Bulls. Al Horford went to...
Well, he started with the
still
Hawks.
plays, and he still plays for Boston.
The Celtics, yeah.
Yep, he's still there.
Corey Brewers, he won a title with Dallas, but he's retired, I think.
Torian Green is a assistant coach for the Gators. Mm-hmm. And Lee Murphy is the color guy for Gator Basketball Radio.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's all 5 starters. I don't know where Chris Richard is. He got shot in the forehead in the middle of a ViStar credit union bank robbery, for all I know.
Yeah.
Kind of like, do you know who Tyrone Prothro is?
I do.
Remember that name? He was widely considered the number 1 pick coming out in 2005. And Mike Shula, he played for Alabama. Mike Shula was a head coach. This is the year that he got fired before they brought Saban in. Mm-hmm. And he left him in a game, ironically, against the Gators that they were winning 31-3, and snapped, like, compound fracture his femur in the end zone, catching it, and he never played football again. Mm. It's widely considered the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yikes. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of what else you did in your little thing. Baseball's back, yes. No golden bat.
I'm very upset about. You know what they are doing in baseball though, and they started this in the minor leagues 2 years ago, is challenging pitches. They get 3 challenges per game, and what happens is they're testing it in Major League spring training. And what happens is if the pitcher, throws what the batter thinks is a ball and it's called a strike, because that happens all the time. You can stop me if you've heard this before. Major League Baseball umpires are the worst officials in all sports. And the batter could back out and tap his helmet, and they will. I don't know how familiar you are with watching tennis, but it's similar to how they do a challenge. Like they put it up on the board, and they show the pitch, and it's done right there, and everybody can see it.
That's not a bad. I don't mind that. They do it in the NBA. They can replay it and see if that's out of bounds. They have 2 challenges per half, I want to say. So that's not awful. I don't. That's not a bad thing. Kind of like the flag. I mean, in football, the challenge flag. It's not awful.
Kind of slows the game down though. Once they put the pitch clock on, the game's kind of fast now. So
yeah, a little
you got
bit.
2.5-hour games. It works. I went to a handful of minor league games last year. It work in minor league. What they're doing is they tested a different, like on the weekday games, they had a robot umpire, up top, and they did that, and then on the weekends they would do the challenge system. So they were testing both. They also tested last year. If you have, if you let's just say you swing at the third strike, but it gets by the catcher, you know how you could take off for first.
Yeah.
Well, they were testing a thing. It didn't last very long, maybe 3 weeks, where if the pitcher throws a pass ball or a wild pitch and it gets past the catcher, you could take off and steal first. No matter what the count is, it could be the first pitch, and you could take it. They were toying with that, but that was stupid. That's right up there with the golden at bat. So I watched 2 Braves games, over the weekend on my phone, and I turn it off when you start putting players in that I've never heard of before, and I follow Gwinnett and I follow Rome, which is the Braves minor league system. And naturally, when Gwinnett comes here to play the Jumbo Shrimp, I go down there, which for those that are listening to us in Jacksonville, I think the Jumbo Shrimp are the best ticket in town.
I think they're fun.
Personally, I think it's way more fun than a Jaguar game. It's way more economical than a Jaguar game, especially if you go on Tuesdays, family fun night.
Or Thursdays is fun too, but
it's economical if you want to get fucked up. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
now you could get bigger beers for $2. It used to be just you got the little beers for $1.
Yeah.
Back in the day. I mean, I've been going to Thirsty Thursdays for 25 years. But you could get the bigger beers now. Last couple of years, the bigger beers now for $2. But I like to go. I'm one of those guys. I don't go for the party. I go to actually watch the game.
Yeah, they're fun.
So I like to sit. A lot of people like to sit in general admission. I don't. I like to buy what I call expensive seat, which down there is $20.
Yeah.
And sit down close. And actually, if I get a program, I'll score the game. It keeps you in the game.
We have, of course, we do, because we live in high society, so we have friends that go and have the club. What they call it, the club seats, but usually it's like a bank. What's the 1-to-1 bank or whatever it is?
Well, it's VyStar now.
Yeah, so they have the little room up there, and you go up there and do whatever.
Right. But VyStar bought 1-to-1 Financial. But I like to be down low, where you can actually, hear the guys talking to one another.
Are you behind the plate?
I like sitting behind first base.
Okay.
Yeah, we're like the on deck circle,
Gotcha.
of the shrimp. But it's interesting because I never liked to sit down there. I always like to sit back up towards the concession because I was back in the day getting up, go get a beer every 5 minutes. But now that I watch my health a little bit more than I used to. I like to sit down low and actually I'll tell you this, and this was an eye-opening experience, and I didn't even notice it until my daughter had said something to me, I've dragged to, in her lifetime, probably 50 baseball games between minor league and major league. And she goes, that's the only baseball game I've ever, it was a 1:00 game. It was Jumbo Shrimp versus Gwinnett last year. And she goes, that's the only, it was on a Sunday afternoon. And she's like, that's the only baseball game I've ever been to with you that you did not have an alcoholic beverage. Yeah. And I was just like, really? And then Stacy's like, yeah, you always, have 2 or 3. Yeah. And I didn't. I had a Coke. She's like, are you feeling okay? Like, I feel fine.
That's funny. So the Jumbo Shrimp are changing their name.
No, just for 2 games, though.
Couple games, yeah.
Yeah.
What is the significance of that?
Well, the honey dripper drink, and funny you should ask that because that may be a stupid history minute coming up.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then you don't
Not
have to
this
do it.
month. No, but, I'll just the overview is a honey dripper is basically a slushy, and
Oh,
it
okay.
was created. It's a cool colada type drink
Okay.
that it's once you get it, it's too cold to sip through a straw. You have to eat it with a spoon, but as it melts, you can drink it with the thing. It's been down there ever since a honey dripper, either kiosk or truck outside. Even old Wolfson Park has been down there ever since I can remember. But
Oh,
the drink was created in urban Jacksonville. It's
oh,
attributed there. There's no one person that has been attributed with creating a drink. It's just a community drink. It's kind of like the urban version of the snow cone.
interesting.
But it's more like Italian ice, kind of.
Yeah.
Um,
I've never heard of it. So I was like, oh, cool. And I'm sure they're going to have like the jerseys or something that'll
yeah,
be,
but
which is
it's.
awesome.
I think it's a cool thing to, highlight the history of something that happened to Jacksonville.
Sure. Sure.
I think that's cool. I think if you go down there, not many people know that Hank Aaron played baseball in the minor leagues of Jacksonville. So did A-Rod, so did Randy Johnson, so did Giancarlo Stanton. That wasn't that long ago, where he was denting cars out in left field. But I just, I think there, especially with the, Expo / Suds / Jumbo Shrimp, that era is a good to look at because they've been around so long. Well, I mean, Jaguars only been here 30 years to look at what has happened and how Jacksonville has transformed in that time with looking at through the lens of baseball. And you can really do that with the country, with America. If you look
Yeah.
at from when baseball started 152 years ago to now and how the country has changed and what all it's gone through, and not only has the game changed and who's come and who's gone, and through it all the bullshit still stands that Pete Rose is not in the fucking Hall of Fame.
Right.
However, you could look at how the country has changed from people listening on the radio to TV to now certain games are on fucking YouTube and
Right. Right.
Apple Plus and all that. I think you to be able to look through the lens of sport to see how society has changed, I think is a cool thing. Somebody should make a documentary about that.
100%. I think it's great.
You
also mentioned the Tush Push being
yeah, the
banned.
Tush Push.
I remember that was a conversation.
It was a conversation.
Pretty funny that it came from Green Bay.
Does anybody find it weird that a team called the Packers are worried about somebody pushing something on your tush?
I mean,
does anybody find that ironic?
Interesting. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of discussion about that. I really do. I think that there'll be a lot of discussion in the NFL about that play. But
do you think it'll get banned?
It better not. If they ban that, then they need to ban, Patrick Mahomes no-look passes, or the fact that Jared Allen can not Josh Allen, but Josh Allen can run. Or that they need to ban the fact that the fucking Jaguars lose 13 games a season.
I think that there's going to be some kind of discussion about that play. I really do. I think that they're going to take some kind of
what is the argument for banning it, other than the fact that we can't stop it.
The argument of the fact is he's not running it.
It's a quarterback sneak.
No, but that's the argument, is he's not actually running the ball. He's being pushed.
Okay.
So he's not physically doing anything. Is the fact that 4 other people are pushing him forward.
Okay, what happens if a running back, he runs up the gut, he gets stopped by the lineman, but then his linemen push him? What's the difference?
So what's the difference of leverage? So
What
why
do you
did
mean?
they ban leverage on the field goal? Why can't
That's
you
a
just
totally different thing. You can't step on somebody to jump up
why not?
because you can't. But they're doing something. Why can't leverage and the tush
So,
push are it's
no,
trying to compare an Oldsmobile to a fucking peacock.
they're pushing off of somebody in order to jump higher.
Yeah, there's no comparison to that.
Yeah, but that's
Sure there
not what the tush push. They're not.
Somebody has an advantage to push off of somebody to get higher. So all with the tush push, they have the advantage of 4 people pushing you forward in order to move. So the
Okay.
advantage is that you're getting pushed.
Yeah.
The advantage is physics.
Okay.
So if I stand on the 1 yard line
Mm-hmm.
and are the 2 yard line where it is, and I have 11 guys or whatever, 9 guys, whatever is on the line in front of me, if somebody does stop those guys in front of me as a wall, if I run into that wall, I get stopped. If I physically run into that wall, I'm going to get stopped.
Yeah, but that's a dumb argument. The better argument is that it promotes injury.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the argument is that they might ban it because it's really easy to get injured at the bottom of a pile.
But nobody has. Nobody's gotten injured.
What was it? The Commanders game and the Eagles game where they had like 9 offsides? And the guy was like, look, the refs can call, a touchdown.
Yeah, but Jason Kelce even said, it's not a great play because he's on the bottom of that pile. But I mean, what I've said, if I was the Eagles, I would run that play
forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Just get in there and run it 100% down the field because nobody can stop that play.
Here's the thing is, like, I think if you get rid of the tush push, you have to then get rid of every assisted. You can't touch a runner and push him forward. That would have to all disappear.
Yeah.
Correct.
So even in the open field, your offensive lineman couldn't push you across a line.
Right.
If they would just not be able to engage, I guess. So you wouldn't just be the tush push itself that's at stake. It's all offensive assistance.
Right. You can't assist the runner forward. That's what the rule would have to be, is you can't physically assist a runner forward. I mean, because when's the last time you saw the referee say forward progress is stopped? Not really.
I mean, it happens in college sometimes, but
but in the NFL, there is no more forward progress is stopped. There used to be. When is the last time you saw in the grass call? Doesn't happen. I mean, there used to be, but I mean, there's just some of the calls that they don't have anymore, which maybe they should bring back. But I think I think that's maybe what they look at for that is that is technically, if he hits that wall, forward progress is stopped. There is no more tush push. So, that's the whole point. He's not physically doing anything.
I'm against banning it because some whiny bitches that wear yellow and green, started bitching about it.
I think it's funny that it's the Packers, but I mean,
somebody was going to bring it up whether it was a Packers
I mean,
or not.
tell the fucking Packers to go eat some fucking yellow snow and fucking, attend to their. I'm not gonna say that. I get too much shit anyway. No, I'm not gonna say that. My wife will kill me. Well,
it doesn't matter.
Go through his mind right now. Just
you better not say too much against the Packers because Rodgers is going to be quarterbacking the Steelers next year.
You think that's going to happen?
What makes you think I'm a Steelers fan?
Because you're
that makes her a Steelers fan.
To quote you on many occasions is because this dick don't suck itself.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know how many teams have ever gone into Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers twice in the same season? Once in the regular season, once in the playoffs?
Once.
And do you know that one team has done it twice?
Yeah. Yep.
2007 and 2017. St. Joe, please tell me who that team is.
It would be your own Jacksonville Jaguars.
That is correct. That is correct.
Were those two tough? Was that a tough year, 2017, or were you were you married yet, or?
We weren't married. We got married 2019, but we were living together. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I remember the day that I woke up, the living room was littered with terrible towels and just Steelers shit. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to shut my mouth until, because if we win this game considerably, the Steelers look, a lot stupider than we will if we lose, because A, it's in Pittsburgh, and B, we have a quarterback named Blake Bortles, and for him to win anything, that's gonna, and that game, I don't know if you remember that game. The game was a shootout. The final score was like 44-41. And the game was a shootout. I mean, Roethlisberger to AB was just catching prayers, in the end zone, and I mean, it was just like, can the clock please run out? Fucking Bortles throwing to a fucking fullback, wide open, because nobody expects anybody to ever throw to a fullback. And
didn't they wear those horrible jerseys too, like the gold and?
Nah, not that game. They wore the black, but that was back when the Jags had the two-toned helmet.
Yeah,
and I think they should bring that one back as a throwback.
No,
just because it was so hated. I used to tell the joke. I was like, when you win the Super Bowl, you can paint the helmet one color, and the mustard jerseys were horrible. Those were the color. You remember how, like, if you played a night game, you wore the color rush.
Yeah.
That was our color rush, and that was horrible. I like the all teal way better, but still not a big fan of the alt. I'm not a big fan unless it's white. If they wear like all one color uniforms, you know what I'm saying? Like I hate it when like the Gators wear all blue. I think you should accent it with a white but I really hate that when the Jaguars wear the teal jersey with the black pants. I hate it when they do that, or they wear the white jersey with the teal pants.
Yeah,
it drives me crazy. I mean, look, teal jersey, white pants at home, and white jersey, black pants on the road. There you go.
Yeah,
it's simple. We don't have to start messing around. And in basketball, it's getting worse. I can't, I turn on the NBA. I don't even, wreck it, because I got a different uniform for every game, and then they're changing their floors.
Oh, floors are horrible now. Yeah, the floors are like NBA 2K. You can't even understand what the floors are right now. It's ridiculous. But so here's a question, and maybe we asked this, but what's your favorite throwback jersey for NFL?
Mine?
Yeah.
Probably the Orange Crush Denver Bronco.
Oh, really? Okay.
Orange
That's
Crush,
classic, dude. That's nice.
Denver
with
Bronco
the original
with the blue helmet with the D on it.
Okay. All right.
Probably that. I mean, I love the Jaguars 90s throwback. But it's not too much different than what they have now. It's called the Prowler jersey. The old school red Falcons, I like a lot.
Black.
I like a lot. You got to look at the traditional teams. Haven't really changed much over the years. Like the Bears, I mean, they're still basically wearing what they wore in '85. I mean, basically.
I mean, their helmet
updated a little bit, but they still have the C on the helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, they're one of the longest standing helmets that
like the Browns, the Packers, they haven't changed
Mhm.
much. The Steelers, I mean,
Yeah.
I think one of them lost sight in one eye. That's why their emblem's only on one side of their helmet. So I hated it. I really like the Broncos uniforms back, before they changed it to, kind of what it is now. And I liked the old school Patriots, with the red, white, and blue with the Patriot on the helmet, the white helmet.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who want the Bills to go back to their red helmets. I hated the red helmets. I like the white ones way better. No one really cares about the Titans. I wish the Jets would go back to their white helmet with the Jets written.
Wait, you mean the Oilers when they were the Oilers?
No, not the Oilers, but the Titans. Have a dark helmet now, and I think it's cool. I love the Oilers uniforms.
Yeah, I thought the Oilers were pretty cool. The baby blue. I still, I mean, yeah, that's interesting when you go back and you think about all the old jerseys. Yeah, there's some that have changed pretty dramatically, but some, you're right.
I mean, like in the NBA, they have Miami has a uniform that looks like Miami.
Yeah.
They all work at Miami Subs.
Yep. There's only one team in the NBA that's logo has never changed.
Oh, I'll get this. Beebs, do you know this?
One team that's logo has never changed.
Yep. It's been there from the inception.
San Francisco.
Nope.
Their logo's changed?
Yep.
They're the Golden State Warriors.
Yep.
Wait, are we talking NFL or are we talking NBA?
NBA. There's one logo. One logo in the NBA. Only one that has never changed.
All right.
The Bulls.
You are correct. It's the Chicago Bulls.
Do you know if you turned the Chicago Bulls logo upside down, it looks like a robot having their way with the crab?
Yes, it does. It's very funny. Yes.
Right now there are people out there Googling Chicago Bulls logo and then turning their phone upside down.
Yes, it does. It absolutely does. And you're like, no way. And you're totally doing it. It's very funny.
It's like, those lists that like they're like instructions, and like the first one's always like read through the whole list and no one ever reads, and they're like number 4 is like clap out loud, and number 6 is see if you could touch your or you can't touch your nose with your tongue, and number 7 is you just tried to touch your nose with your tongue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
I think those are funny.
Yep. Very funny. There was one more thing you talked about in your little thing that I wanted to say.
Yeah, the Jags have hired themselves.
The GM. Yeah, they did. They hired
an undergraduate as their GM.
Yeah, that's they've got it set. So we'll see what happens.
The reason that I'm concerned is that I'm going to name off some people here, just their positions, not their names. But your executive vice president of football operations is brand new in that position. First time. Your general manager under him, first time GM. Your head coach under him, first time head coach. But it doesn't stop there. Your offensive coordinator, first time offensive coordinator. Your defensive coordinator, first time offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. Now your special teams coordinator has been with the Jags for 4 years, to say nothing of the fact that the only 2 people that actually made the Pro Bowl this year, as not, I'm not talking about people who got in after alternates, but the 2 people who were voted in were the punter and the long snapper, both special teams players.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what it says about your franchise when the first Pro Bowler picked is your fucking punter. It means you punt a lot.
Yeah, not good.
No. So, but I don't. I'll tell you what. I've been asked over the past week, what I think about the Jags and what they're doing. And I said, I don't care what they do as long as they win.
Yeah.
They could, I will tell you this, they could hire fucking Hitler's cunt whore of a wife.
Wow.
If they won, I would be okay with it.
That's a hire. That's a hire right there.
You know.
Wow. I'm glad we got to Hitler, and he was able to say the word he wanted to say. All right, so here's a stat for you guys. Okay. Keb will love this. Okay. Greg Maddux won 355 games and pitched 5,008 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Excluding intentional walks, he went to a 3-0 count 133 times in his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is nuts.
Yep.
5,000.
I'm telling you, you could Nolan Ryan me, you could Cy Young me. You know, you could. Maddux is going to go to history. Is going to treat him as a better pitcher than we treat him now. And we treat him like a damn good pitcher now.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, he's never in the. There's a good documentary on him. It's on YouTube now. It's about an hour and a half long. And Eddie Perez, who is his catcher, you know, pitchers like that have their own catchers. They're not everyday catchers. They only catch when Maddux is pitching. Eddie Perez was his, who's a coach for the Braves now, and he told the story. There, it's July, okay, and they're playing the Astros, and not many people knew this, but Maddux called his own pitches. You know, he had a signal to the catcher of what he was going to throw. You know, and like if he coughed, you know, it's fastball. If he like shrugged, you know, his left shoulder, you know, his curve or whatever. Anyhow, so he calls Eddie Perez. Ken Caminiti was coming up to the plate, and he calls Eddie Perez out, and he's like, "Hey, look, I'm going to throw 3 changeups inside." And he's like, "Dude, this guy's a changeup hitter." And he's like, "I know." He's like, "I'm going to throw 3 change." It's July. Keep in mind, it's July. And he throws 3 changeups inside, and Ken Caminiti takes the third one over the left field wall. So he gets the next guy out, and Eddie's like, "I told you he was a changeup hitter." And he's like, "Wait." He's like, "You know, we have a good team, and they have a good team. And we're going to see them in the playoffs. And he's going to think I'm going to throw those same 3 pitches at him like that." And they gets to October. Guess who's playing the Astros? And the Braves come up. Greg Maddux, game 1. Greg Maddux throws him 2 changeups inside, then throws him a slider and strikes him the fuck out. You know,
that's awesome.
And that was from something that happened in July.
That's crazy.
You know, I mean, that's just how Maddux thought. Or you know, I mean, just an incredible baseball mind. I mean, I could bore you with stories about how, you know, Bobby Cox sent Leo Mazzoni, who's the pitching coach, out there to tell Maddux, you're throwing 2 pitches and Cox is coming out, and Maddux is like, "No, I'm not." You know, he's like, "What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a changeup on the outside. I'm going to throw an outside changeup to this guy. He's going to pop it to Chipper, and then we're going to be in the dugout laughing about it." And Chipper told the story, and he goes, "And I didn't think anything of it until I'm sitting under this ball the next pitch, waiting to catch it like that." And I'm like, Greg Maddux just called that he's going to throw this, and the guy's going to pop out to me. It's just
that's funny.
It's just an hour and a half of stories like that. It's just, you know, the only problem batter that he had was a guy named Tony Gwynn. I'm sure you heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of the best hitters in the history of baseball.
Everybody had a problem with that guy.
Yeah. And he had a problem with Barry Bonds. Yeah. You know, and he says what I've said for years. You can say steroids to me all day long. You still got to hit the fucking ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So unless it helps your eyesight,
yeah,
you know,
hand-eye coordination.
You know, I mean, it may help your bat swing, you know, your swing speed, but you know, and certainly, you know, how strong you are, but you still got to put the bat on the ball.
Yeah.
You know, if you watch Barry Bonds, who I think was an amazing hitter, he always choked up on the bat, you know, because he just wanted to make contact. You know, and he was good before he started taking steroids. You know, he was MVP candidate before he started taking steroids. So he just didn't like, you know, the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa thing, I think in 98 did it for Barry Bonds. He's like, I should be getting that attention, not these guys. they're taking steroids, so maybe I need to. My hat size is too small.
Yeah.
But you got any more stats there, Chief?
Oh, I could, yeah, but they are in sports that you like. So,
What? There's soccer.
mm-hmm.
There was something
I'll
in
put you to sleep.
soccer. There, I did catch a story that, and I'm going to butcher this guy's name, and I'm not reading this. Fofana, maybe. Is that his name?
Fofana?
That guy.
Yeah.
So apparently he was supposed to be out the whole year,
Mm-hmm.
but now he's going to play.
Yeah, they put him on. He was back on the bench today. I think it was a knee. Did his knee, which means I think he tore ACL or something like that. He's supposed to be done this whole year, but he's back. I guess some of the guys they heal a little bit faster than others.
Hey, have you ever seen the movie That Thing You Do?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so do you remember the name of the band?
Yes. It's
Well, I'll give it to you.
the Wonders.
The Wonders.
The
Yes.
Wonders. But at the beginning, they were spelling it ONEDRES.
Yes.
Like Wonders, but everybody kept calling it the Oneaters.
Yeah.
And then Tom Hanks comes in and we're just going to be straight Wonders. And then Steve Zahn's character goes, I wonder what happened to the Oneaters. Yeah. Well, that's how I feel when I look at your soccer podcast's name, and I keep wanting to call it Yainted.
Yeah. Well, there's an I in there, Kep.
I mean,
Yainted. That's right. I'll leave it there now.
At first glance,
Yeah.
I was just like, what is Yainted?
Well, it's United.
Right.
That's how they say it over there too. So
it's kind of like Beatles.
Yeah.
BEATLES.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We should come up with a clever name.
For what?
For this show. Should come up with we should rename it yet again for the 9th time.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe we should ask the fan base. You think they'll give us a name?
Yeah, real quick, can I address something that's nothing to do with what we're talking about?
I got steal your name.
No, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you're out there and you're a Georgia Bulldog fan and you're texting me right now that the Bulldogs beat the Gators, I get it. It's fine. You did that in football too. But see, in this case, what's going to happen is in about 2 weeks, you're going to be sitting on the fucking couch watching the Gators play. So go ahead and fuck yourself.
When does March Madness start?
Well, the SEC, there's only 3 regular season games left.
Yeah. Do you count the conference tournaments as part of March Madness?
I do.
I mean, there's a lot of games, so I mean, you could.
When does the tournament start?
End of March, right?
I think it's the 3rd week of March.
Yeah,
I think
March.
it's when everybody's on spring break.
Son of a bitch! I'm gonna be on the boat.
Oh, this is
oh
not
my
good.
god!
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to get the drink package.
They'll show the games on the boat, surely, right?
Did they not have TVs on the boat?
Yeah, they have a sports bar, so I'll be in there with the kids.
You're gonna take your kids to a bar?
Hell yeah! There's a sport bar.
You guys start them young, dude.
We're going for spring break.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing the spring break cruise, baby.
Where are you going this fucking time?
We're going to St. Thomas.
You go so many fucking times you can't even keep straight where you're fucking going.
Yeah, we're going south this time.
All right.
You went south last time.
No, we went Mexico.
But that is south, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I want you to take this cruise. I want you to research in your little Nailed It travel company how much it is to take this cruise. I forget what it's called. It's called something Passage, but it's in between Antarctica and fucking Argentina. And it's like the most dangerous place on earth in the water.
Oh, no.
You know.
No. Well, then I got a little bit of time off before I go on the next one.
Yeah, I thought the most dangerous place in water on earth was Jenna Jameson's bathtub, but
hello.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the younger folk know who that is, but the pushing 50 crowd knows exactly who that is.
Yeah.
And yeah, something about a Debbie in Dallas, something like that.
No, it's standing next to Robert Wagner. That would Natalie Wood.
Yeah.
That's a really far back reference there.
Who did Natalie Wood? There's like a website dedicated to actors that killed people who didn't go to jail.
Yeah.
And they never had evidence against Robert Wagner.
Yeah.
But they had a shitload of evidence against OJ.
Yeah.
But for the record, he was acquitted.
Yeah. If it don't fit, you must acquit.
There's a funny meme, a sports meme. You guys know? Are you guys familiar with who Howard Cosell was?
Yeah.
So there's a funny thing in the cap. It's Howard Cosell, and the caption says, "Hey, this is Howard Cosell from the future, and do I have a story for you?" And he's standing in between OJ and Bruce Jenner.
Oh God, that's funny. That's really funny.
And I told the Subaru world famous wife, I said that the ironic thing, me, OJ being accused of what he was accused of, and Bruce Jenner, changing teams, the link between the two of them with the Kardashians, OJ's best friend was Robert Kardashian. Robert Kardashian, of course, divorced Kris Kardashian, and Bruce Jenner married her, to have Kylie Jenner, and I don't know what the other one is, what her name is. I'm sure whatever. And so anyhow, there you go, Mama D. That's your gossip for this week.
There's an even funnier picture of Kris Jenner. Is that still her name?
I guess.
What does she go by now?
I don't know.
Is it still Kris Jenner?
Yeah,
with a Caitlyn. That's right. So now there's a picture of Caitlyn Jenner holding Sports Illustrated like Athlete of the Year as Bruce Jenner, and then in the other one she's holding Time Magazine's Woman of the Year. It's like, seriously? Okay. Yeah, so
if you ever, I'm not going to say it on air, but if you ever want a good laugh, YouTube Dave Chappelle's take on Bruce Jenner.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. It's very fun.
I saw it too.
Yeah. It's very funny.
So, because he loves the trans folk.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't have a problem with him. Unless they get behind the wheel of a car. But anyhow, Beeves, you got anything going on finding your way? Since we're over time and you've been yawning since the get-go.
It's true. I have been yawning. Finding your way. I'll have a little episode drop this week. So,
did you not have one last week?
I did not. No, but I'll have one this week to kind of explain everything that's going on. That way, my listeners won't get too upset.
Why don't you explain it now?
Well, my listeners don't listen to this.
Why not?
Well, not all of them. Some of them do. But
we need cross promotion.
But that said, you should listen to Finding Your Way podcast. It's just kind of on a little hiatus right now because I'm coaching track and field, and my son is also on a traveling basketball team now. So it's like I don't have any time hardly at all to record my own stuff hardly anymore. So I randomly do find time to record with Sumner over for the New Soccer podcast, but I need to do a little bit better planning for Finding Your Way. It just I never seem to find the right time slot for that. So a little bit of time management I need to learn now that I'm a coach. So that's what's going on.
Now, St. Joe would nailed it. You keep promising guests.
Yes, I'm going to get one.
Why don't you
I'm not going to let you
up-
know who it is,
Why
but I'm going
don't
to
you
get
line
one.
up like 4 or 5?
Wow.
I hear that Nate McGraw. I hear he's available.
Whoa. Nate McGraw would be like the Roger
Yeah.
Wright of guests.
Do you know who Nate McGraw is?
No,
Peeps?
I don't.
Dude,
Oh man, you
dude,
got to check out his
dude.
podcast. It is stellar, dude. That guy's got some opinions.
It's
Yeah?
pretty fun. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, if for our listeners,
And they're like,
you,
it's like finding your way. It's like 7 minutes long.
you
know?
Yeah.
I mean,
if
yeah.
you haven't checked out Nate McGraw, you need to check out.
Yeah,
Nate
I don't think that. Number one, I did DM him, and he like 3 weeks ago, and
He's a mystery.
When Mama D turned me on to his podcast, and she's like, "Hey, this is like right up your alley," and I DM'd him because I was like, "Dude, this guy's like the anti Unfiltered Studios guy," and so anyhow, but he hasn't. I don't think he's a big Twitter dude. I mean, he has a Twitter. I found, but he's got
he's on Good Pods, so I mean, he's definitely.
I found him on Good Pods. Because Mama D liked one of his episodes.
Yeah,
and so I went and followed him.
It's
But,
funny.
I mean,
Kev called me one day and said, "Dude, you got to check out this. He's only got like 2 episodes, but I listened to him, and he comes up on my list, and I'm like, he opinionated, but man, it's funny. So yeah, you got to check that out. It's funny. But yeah, I'm gonna get some guests. I'm back in town, so I'm gonna get some lined up, and we're gonna fill that out. And I got to tell you, I told you guys today, I think I got, I got a little slack from some people, and I put the next couple days to show me your trips. I think are some pretty fun ones. So it should be fun. So we'll see. We're approaching almost 30, almost 3,800 downloads of Show Me Your Trips.
Wow.
So yeah,
Nice.
we're doing pretty good on that show, man. For what it, when we started, and it's not even I think we're at 9 months, something like that. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, man. It's gone very well. So pretty happy with that, man. So it's good. So
that's
doing good.
That's cool. Well, not get ready for March at the Stupid History Minute. We're late March. We're celebrating our 1000th episode.
That's awesome.
So, not quite sure how that's going to look, but we'll find out. But anyhow, to let all of our listeners know, if you need help with time management or to get guests for your show, you can log on to unfpod.com and check out all the shows there. And if you have a show yourself that you need help with time management or to get guests that you keep promising people, you can find them there. We will get you to Beebs to help with your time management. And we will get you to St. Joe, and he'll help you find a guest, even though he can't find one for his show.
Wow.
But anyhow, if there's nothing else, gentlemen, we are glad that you joined us this evening. We are glad to have St. Joe back for however long that he wants to grace us with his presence. And for the Beebs, for St. Joe, I'm always the Keb, and we will catch you guys next week.
Catch you on the flippity flop.